Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Worldhoppers. Today we are doing another sprint. For most of us here in the video itself, we're doing the Shades of Magic read-along. So we're planning to read Shades, except for Sean. And then we do have Steph will likely be joining us a little bit later.
Is that why Sean is banished in the thumbnail? He's like...
Because he's not part of the Shades read-along. Sean, I don't think you saw the thumbnail, but I have you like up in the corner by where it says Worldhoppers. To be fair, I did the same thing to myself when I hosted the BookTube newbie tag because I was like, I'm not a newbie. I'm just asking the question. So I put myself up in the corner.
I don't need to be here. My presence was requested.
Yeah.
I can leave.
You would be reading anyway. That's
right.
Yeah.
So,
is everyone else reading Darker Shade of Magic?
Yeah.
I actually finished the first book, so I'm now reading. I'm listening on audio, so I'm actually going to be reading Two Twisted Crowns because I had an arc of that.
Oh.
I finished the first book last week. I'm halfway through book 2.
Nice.
Oh.
I
didn't know that it was Michael Kramer.
I know. I need to catch up.
His voice is like haunting me. I was like, wait, am I reading Wheel of Time? Did I accidentally open one of those? I was like, oh no, never mind.
He does the second book? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Michael Kramer and Kate Redding do Gathering of Shadows.
Oh.
I like it so much better. The first one, like the narrator was good, but the second one, I was like, oh, this is like a much better voice for me.
Oh, I don't mind them. I just got confused at first because I was like, wait, did I accidentally open Wheel of Time? Because that's the only books that I've ever read with them.
Oh,
Tori,
I'm excited.
You were about to say something a second ago, right? About you reading?
I'm so far behind. I'm not even like midway book 1. So
Me too.
I'm pushing along. It's good though.
My plan is
the other books right now. It's just been a wild month already. It's only like 6 days in. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
I can't believe it's already 6 days in though.
It's
little bit.
Crazy. So
Yeah.
But it's good. I'm enjoying it. And I feel like this weekend I'm not really doing too much, so I can like power my way through the rest of this book and then at least try to get midway through the second one and then finish out book 3 next week.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for anybody that's curious, the plan is to do the live show chat on Patreon on the 15th, and then that'll go up the week after on my channel. And that way, if you want to see kind of a spoiler refresh, you'll have that shortly before Threads of Power comes out in case you can't do the read along itself. But yeah, my plan is once I finish this one, then I'll probably just go right through the second and third really quick. I was kind of hoping to do the audiobook, but the audiobook seems pretty unavailable for the second one. The first and the third are on Hoopla, and I'm like, what? Why not the second one? So
that was the problem I was having. I was trying to find the second one because I'm almost done with the first one, and I'm not an audiobook person, so this is actually my first audiobook where I feel like I'm absorbing the information because I've already read it.
Jesse,
I'm kind of like Kristen. I always love it. I love it when there's multiple narrators so much more.
Yeah.
No, same. I'm like that too. I'm not an audiobook person like at all. But if I've read the book physically, then I like to go back and re-experience the audio version because I feel like I can appreciate the performances and know the story in the world so a little bit smoother.
Well, Elle was the Vile Temptress that got me hooked on immersion reading, so now I pretty much
Temptress.
That's awesome.
Blame Jade. Jade was the root of it all. Tori, I'm excited to do that at some point with the Winnowing Flame trilogy since the audiobooks weren't available for people in the US for so long. So for the longest time, I didn't even know audiobooks existed because they wouldn't even show up when you would look. So now that they are available, that's my hope. I'm very frustrated though because Talon's Sister that's coming out this month, I think it's going to have the same thing where it's not even on US retailers. And I'm like, come on. I'm so frustrated.
How long did it take for the audiobook to show up?
So long.
Years, right?
Because I don't know when the first book came out. I guess I could look, but then it wasn't until like this year last year that I think it was available for US people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty frustrating. Hi, Sarah. That is definitely a lab for tall people.
Except not. because sure, like the storage is nice and high, but like the bench itself is like mid thigh if I'm standing next to it. So like
For
that's
you.
not.
Let's see. Oh, cool! Yay. Unless I'm wrong, are they still not available? Is Winnowing Flame still not available? I'm gonna be sad. Hold on, I have to.
I
Look.
know the physical was. I don't know about the audio.
Yeah, the physical has not been available for a really long time. I thought that when the physical became available, that would mean the audiobook would too. I could try to be sneaky and use a VPN because I've done that before. That's what I did for God Killer's audiobook. I used a VPN. And I'm like, I live in the UK. And then I got it. So
It looks like they are on Audible.
Oh,
okay. I was worried that I was telling everybody wrong. Thank you, Kristen.
No, you're good.
Roger, you still have to read the third one, right?
I've read the whole series before, but I remember nothing. I was like, who is this person? What am I doing?
Winnowing
Oh,
Flame.
the third. I have not. So I'm almost tempted to wait to see if Shoshana catches up because she was messaging me earlier saying that she's loving Ninth Reign. So I was like, well, maybe because we both got really bored because we're reading A Dance with Dragons and we're like, do you want to put it on pause for the rest of the week and read something else?
She told me she started it, but then I haven't heard since. And I'm like, what if she's hating it?
No, because we were reading A Dance with Dragons. She's just like, oh, perfect, because I'm getting sucked into Ninth Reign. I was like, sweet, because I'm just going to read The Gathering of Shadows instead, because my lord.
It's very rare for her and I to like the same thing, despite being like, in some ways, the same person.
I mean, you never know because her opinion will switch on a dime and then she'll DNF it at like 84%.
Of the third book in a trilogy.
Oh, God.
But not your library. So I wonder if it's an Audible exclusive, or maybe it's just not available at your library. But anyway, Roger, you sort of accidentally brought us back to Shades. So, oh yay! And then now we're back to playing.
Yay!
So, for anybody that's joining us today, what are you going to be reading for the sprint? The plan is for us to maybe do a little bit longer than typical, so that hopefully Steph can join and hop in later, and that anybody who wants to join later in the chat can do so. But yeah, what are you going to be reading? I am going to be reading the first Shades book still. Sean, would you like to share what you're reading?
I'm reading The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie.
Did you finish your other one? Because you were reading something that sounded much more intense last week. Or do you read multiple books at a time, or are you a one and...
Was it Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like 2/3 of the way done with that.
Nice.
That's his book club pick with his dad.
Yeah. So,
So they read a chunk every week and then they talk about it on Saturday mornings.
That's so cute.
That's awesome.
he likes it. He's like, it's a good book.
Oh, I thought you were like, he likes the book club. And I was like, what, do you not?
No, he likes the book.
And he likes the book club.
And the book club.
He likes both. He likes Sean too. What do you know?
Yeah.
He likes
That's
the person
weird.
he's in the book club with.
The
But
book
I'm going to
before, what was it that we read before? The Martian
Stranger in
one.
a Strange Land.
Oh yeah, Stranger in a Strange Land. That book is weird.
Mm.
That book got really weird.
I mean, it has strange twice in the title.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point. That's a good tip.
But I plan to pick up Killers of the Flower Moon and get caught up and then also read it because they're making a movie that'll be out soon and we're probably going to go see it. It's going to be how long? 3.5 hours.
3.5 hour movie.
Ooh, yikes.
And I saw today the Studio Ghibli, what is the movie called? The Boy and the Heron or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks
It's
so
weird.
good.
But I want to see that. I'm not a big movie theater person, but I'm like, I'll go see that one. And then Spy Family has a movie coming out, and I'm like, I mean, I'll go watch that too.
Oh, it does? I didn't
know
realize
that.
It's like some random, mission that they're on.
Oh,
So
that's so fun.
Aw.
let's see, finishing Dead Silence and then starting my Massive Bind of the Earthy novels.
I love that silence. I feel like that is such an unpopular opinion. I had such a good time with that book.
I
just
haven't
audiobook
read
for that
it.
recently, but I haven't read it
It
yet.
was really entertaining. The plot twist was the explanation was a little wonky, but I was with it.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
Right?
Yeah.
I was
By
with
the way,
it.
Tori, does the back of your shirt have like hot pink and more like yellow and white? Because I think I have that
Yeah.
same shirt.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like full of designs.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that shirt. It's very cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you get it at GameStop?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got mine.
Nice.
So I just like, I feel like certain colors when I wear them when I'm filming, they like affect the lighting, and that shade of gray for whatever reason sometimes does too. Like light colors, like really light pinks or light blues and stuff. So I often just wear black.
Yeah.
Not this camera. This camera doesn't seem to care. By Stephen King.
Oh, nice.
Leviathan Wake, Sean's favorite.
He won't even engage.
Oh.
He's just like, I'm not even.
I won't be baited.
What was it that you make fun of yourself? Because whenever we're at the bookstore and you see Cryptonomicon, you're like, oh, look, it's my favorite book.
I hate that book. I hate that book so much.
I don't think I'll ever be able to read it because of how much you hate it. Yay, Dark
You
Shade of
go
Night.
right ahead. I would never stop you from reading anything.
Oh.
Oh, see, okay, good.
Is that the one with the cover where you're like looking through the spaceship and there's like a hand? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was I'm telling you, if you're looking for just like a fun kind of popcorn fall read for spooky season, it's actually pretty entertaining. Oh, okay.
I'm much more of a movie person for horror. I don't really like reading it because it takes too long and I'm too creeped out for too long and I can't sleep and like it's a whole thing.
That's funny. You just like, kind of want to get it over and done with.
Because I think Alex likes horror more than me, but I think that's because he enjoys seeing the 6'7" person cowering in the corner.
It's amazing.
I think we talked about did we talk about it last time in this chat or elsewhere where I said I feel like it should be illegal to have scary movie ads before YouTube videos? Where I'm like, can you not, please?
Can you
Like,
not?
I don't want to be terrified right before I'm about to jog. Although I guess that works because then I'm like running,
There you go.
running away from demons.
The perfect ad today was I was watching one of your discussions with Jessie May, and it was like a Disney ad for Disenchanted, and I was like, "That's so on brand for Jessie May to have a random little like
It
Disney
is.
princess."
That's perfect.
It's weird. It's like they know her in association with, even when she's on. Maybe it was on her channel though.
It was this time.
I'm worried now. Oh, Sean, you liked it for you never loved it, but you liked it for a bit. And then Sean's, you could speak for yourself.
I
I don't want to
think
speak for you.
the ending is not great.
So retroactively made the
people-
whole book terrible because you were so mad at the ending.
I didn't love it really
Okay.
entirely. It was kind of like, and then
I did love it. So if that makes you feel better.
there you go.
Sure,
I
other
had a
people
good
would
time
like
with it, but haven't read any more of the series yet.
Same. I need to reread the first one because it's
Book.
been like years.
It is tough when the explanation for things, because like certain books, if you like A House with Good Bones. I mean, I
Oh,
didn't love
I just
the
read that.
explanation. Oh, I didn't love like the explanation / end necessarily. It got like so extreme, but I was like, I had fun along the way, which is fine for me because that's kind of what I want out of a creepy, like things slowly are building. The house seems weird, whatever. But if it's a book where like everything rides on that explanation at the end and then the explanation's dumb and you're like, then the whole book's dumb. Like, why did I waste my time?
I wouldn't say that's what Leviathan Wakes is, though. I don't think it rides on that ending. I just thought, I was like, I just didn't like it.
You thought it was really stupid.
That may be true. Can't confirm or deny.
I never
Give
tried
me
that series. I watched the first couple episodes and got bored, and then never continued with The Expanse. And I was like, I don't need to read the books if the show didn't do it. I can't imagine the book's going to grip me that much more.
Makes sense.
I like
I've heard some people say that they like the show more though. So that's kind
That's
of
what I'm saying. That I was like, that's
Yeah.
a pretty universally loved show. So if the show wasn't doing it for me, I don't think the books are gonna.
right.
The show is good. The books, I'm like 4, almost 5 books in now, and the books definitely start to slow down after a while. Like there's just you get so many POVs that I just feel like you don't need after a certain point. And then you want to go back to POVs that were in the previous books that you feel like could add to it. So I'm struggling through The Expanse. I still love it though, but I'm just kind of slow moving through it. But the TV show is really good.
That's why, everybody seems to like it. That's interesting that you don't, Roger.
I just got bored. I'm not a big sci-fi person though.
That
And like
makes
if
sense.
it is gonna be sci-fi, I want there to be like cool alien stuff, and that's not really The Expanse. It's a little bit more of like a not that. It's more like a political space opera kind of thing, and that's not.
Yeah.
Although I heard
That
one of the
makes
plot lines says something about like a space virus, and that sounds cool, but that sounds like it's only like 1 or 2 of the books, not the whole series.
It does feel a little bloated after a while, the books.
Hmm.
Is that one of those series where they made the special edition of the first book and then never made a special edition of the rest?
Yeah.
I remember it was like the really pink one,
It
right?
had pink.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
pretty. I love it.
I did like it. I see it sometimes at Bookman's, and I'm like, I don't really want to read that. Sean hated it, so there's no reason to get it. But like, it's such a pretty book, you know.
It
So
is.
like, there's this one edition of Name of the Wind that's actually pretty, because that is a book that has some pretty ugly editions. But
Yeah.
there's one that I saw once, and I was like, I wish I liked that more.
Are you talking about the
Really?
10th anniversary one with like the violin and the faith?
No, I think that one's weird.
I'm curious which one you mean.
Now I need to know which one.
I don't know which one it is. There is an edition that's cool, but I don't know.
Just
which
one, just one edition. The rest of them
Yeah,
are
most of them.
garbage.
The regular US, I'm like, that's pretty underwhelming and very bland. And then the
The one
anniversary edition is
The one that's out now or the original?
which one's out now?
The one that's like kind of bluish with like a.
Oh yeah, that would be the one that I'm like, whatever.
When I got it, it was like the weird, like shirtless quote
Yep.
on the cover.
I found that one,
Oh.
and I found that one because apparently it's really expensive, and I found it at Bookman's, and I got it, and I sent it to someone because I know they like the series. And then I feel like they thought it was like, oh, thanks for this ugly cover, and there was a part of me that's like, dude, it's worth like $200.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm just
I
kidding.
feel like Kristen, you're the one who has the huge collection of Name of the Wind, right?
I do, yeah.
I'm sure if I looked, I could find the cover, but I don't care that much. Okay, I'm going to get the timer ready. I figured since we're going to be doing multiple sprints, we would do 25 and 5 and then just see how many we can do instead of doing like 45 or something. So let me get the screen pulled up. Let's see. There it is. Yay. Okay. Is everybody ready to get started?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Well, we'll see you all in 25 minutes. Hello. First sprint done.
Woo!
That was very loud. How is everyone's reading?
Really good.
Good.
Yay. So Tori, where are you? Because we're the closest to
I'm
each
about
other's
70
spots.
pages in so far. So still very close to the beginning. But
So the very next part is the part that I read because I was around page 75 and then now I'm around page 100 unless our pages don't line up. But the White London, when it's first introduced, I forgot how brutal and awful it is. So that was fun.
That was me earlier because I've been listening to the audiobook while I worked all day. And I was like, oh, I forgot a lot of things.
oh,
Yeah.
it's good.
Me
I really
too.
love
That's why I was like, there's no way I would remember any of this or most of it. I feel like I remember very vague things. I knew White London had some, bad guy vibes, I'll say,
Yeah.
but I forgot just how much.
How many bad guy vibes?
Sean, how was your reading?
It was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still enjoying it.
Still enjoying it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Sean is quite liking the writing of that one.
Oh,
I am.
It's very it's a very controversial book for anybody that doesn't know. The author, someone stabbed them in the face, right?
Yeah, it was a
Oh
like a book event.
my.
Kind of like in the last couple of months, right?
Yeah, last year, I think.
I think it was
Oh,
last
was it that
year.
long ago?
But the
Okay.
book is like came out in 1988, and people have wanted to kill him since 1988. So,
Mhm.
Wow.
yep.
wow.
Definitely made an impact with that one.
Right?
Yeah. I feel bad. He was 28 years old,
Wow.
and now he's like 70 something. So
Yeah.
that's like his whole life,
Yeah.
basically,
Wow.
of having bodyguards.
On the bright side, he probably
is-
didn't have to deal with the internet for at least half of that.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
That probably would have made trying to get him much worse. I don't know how else to word that.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that's probably why it was maybe contributed to them having a little more success now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Again, poor wording there. But
Know what you
He-
mean.
I do feel bad for him. How is everyone else's reading?
Good.
Okay.
I'm almost 300 pages in to the first book.
Nice.
Nice. To Sean, do you want to answer?
Well, I don't know why. I think it's because possibly of how he portrays the Prophet Muhammad. But so
Oh.
far, I mean, I don't really know. I haven't read anything where I'm like, so. But yeah, that is the issue as far as I know.
Oh wow.
That
Off
Yeah.
religion. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
That would
how
be
I
it.
was. I was gonna vaguely be like,
Mm.
it's a religion thing. Oh, I'm trying to figure out where this came from.
Just that I like stoner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
didn't know if
could
there was
be
something
reading
in the
stoner.
chat. Oh, hold on. I once went to my used bookstore and grabbed a cool cover and spent $150 on it. I regret nothing.
I've been there.
Let's see. Near that part. Is this in reference to the Shades of Magic? Secret History and Lost Metal sometime.
Oh, nice. The Secret
Ooh.
History is one of my all-time favorite books outside of sci-fi fantasy.
Me too. I just
Like
read it in
actual
July,
secret-
and, like, wow, I'm obsessed.
Yeah, oh my god, it's great.
That
Actual
ending
Secret
scene-
History or Mistborn Secret History?
Oh well,
Oh, good
never mind.
question.
that is a good question.
Just because I see the Lost Metal in the same sentence, so I
Oh,
wasn't sure.
I was thinking Donna's Heart.
Yeah, I was thinking Donna Tartt too.
I was thinking the same thing as Elle, so
This person's like, "No, I mean Brandon Sanderson."
like no,
haunts
Miss
me
Boy.
daily.
But you liked the Donna Tartt Secret History?
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh. Sean, do you have that one?
Which one?
Donna Tartt's Secret History?
I think so, but I can't remember. Or do I have the Goldfinch? Or do
You
I
have the
both?
Goldfinch.
Yeah.
That one
I think you
liked
definitely
more
have that one.
than the Secret History, but the Secret History.
What was that?
I said the Goldfinch is one that I liked a little bit less than this. Actually, a lot less than the Secret History. It was still good, but the Secret History is like amazing.
My family and I were talking about this the other day, how we think that Secret History came out first, but people like didn't really know about it as much. So we think that she got the award for the Goldfinch because they like retroactively were like, the Secret History is great and she should just get something.
I hope this doesn't sound mean to this actress, but I'm totally spacing on her name. But the actress that was in Everything Everywhere All at Once, the one that got for not the main role, what is her name? Oh my gosh.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Dude,
I feel like
that was
I feel like
outrageous.
Sean's less nice about it.
Outrageous. Goodness
Aw.
gracious.
So I think that it's a similar thing. I feel like they're like, we should probably give her an Oscar. So we'll give her one for this, you know?
But for that movie, no thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
I haven't seen that
Um,
yet, but I do love Jamie Lee Curtis.
She's like barely in the movie. I'm
That's
like,
Ow.
She's not in
why
it much.
why would you give her an Oscar for
That
Best
makes
Supporting
sense.
Actress when she's barely in it?
If I
She's like a
hadn't seen the
cameo.
movie, if I hadn't seen the movie yet and I saw that she'd won, I would have thought she'd have been in it more.
Yeah, so that's like I literally thought she was in it more then because I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, oh, she's obviously a big supporting role. Okay. Still love
I
her.
haven't
Yeah.
seen it either. But Fabled
Golden's-
Reader, you are in for a wild ride.
Oh my God, I'm reading
Just
the
get
comments.
ready.
Golden Sun was something else.
Mhm.
It's my
So-
least favorite in the trilogy.
I haven't
Everybody else
gotten there
disagrees.
yet, but
Oh,
I
it's
have
my
been
favorite
watching
in the
One Piece.
trilogy.
It's good. Well, I would say
Oscar
Morning
for
Star is my
Hot
favorite of the
Piece.
trilogy, but Golden
Which
Sun
one?
is right there. Morning Star is probably my favorite of the original trilogy, but like Golden Sun is
Me too.
it's so good. It's like right there.
Aw. I've only read the first
I-
book so far.
Oh, Jesse.
I know. I need to read. I have literally all of them. I just need to read the rest of them.
I thought Morning Star was a very good ending because I thought that Red Rising kind of had like the heart,
Mhm.
and then I thought Golden Sun had more of the action and the actually utilizing its setting and its genre better. And then Morning Star I thought was like a perfect combo of both. Beginning of the White. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Also
Yeah.
painful.
Oh my gosh.
okay.
That part is so brutal. Back to Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah.
Oscar.
That's basically what it
yes,
was.
Christy.
Oh,
I still maintain Carrie Condon should have won for Banshees of Inisherin. Me and like the two other people who saw that movie.
nice.
Which I didn't even like that movie very much, but she did good.
Oh, that's funny. I'm sticking by Angela Bassett. She should have won. She was fantastic.
What was the movie?
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
She was incredible.
I
She
didn't
was.
see that, but
Yeah.
I've
Angela
just seen like
Yeah, Angela Bassett's always incredible, but that performance was great.
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't see the movie, but I think the Honest trailer. Do you guys watch Honest trailers?
Yeah.
Sometimes I catch it, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, the Honest trailer for that one I think made that point of like I don't know what she has to do to win an Oscar, but she was really trying here. Sequel series or not, just feel so happy. Okay, yeah, that's how I feel. My
Right.
advice: okay, don't listen to Tori. Don't do it. I'm just kidding. No one agrees with me. No one agrees with me, but I
You know
really
what?
did
Iron
not like.
Gold. I admit Iron Gold. I liked Iron Gold, but it was a little. It did take a minute to kind of get adjusted because there's new POVs and it just kind of sets the foundation for what Dark Age and Lightbringer are gonna become. So for that, I think it's a little bit slower than the original trilogy. Has like a different pace, different feel. but it does a good job with setting up book 6 and 7, or book Dark Age and Lightbringer. It's so good.
I just hated how stupid one of the characters was. I hated him
Oh, no.
so much. And I'm like, why are you doing this to this character now? And I was mad. I was so mad. And then most of the, like, there was a pretty, I was a large chunk through it. And then toward the end, they were growing on me. I'm like, okay, I'm getting over their stupidity. And then they just make the, like, they're so dumb at the very end that I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
No. And then I was like, I'm done. I'm pretending this doesn't exist. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
what I think we feel. Okay, so Sarah, my book twin, is the other person that feels this way.
I'm excited to read them.
Oh, in the chat, meaning like we're ahead. That happens sometimes, right? Morning Star, Dark Age, Iron Gold, Golden Sun, Red Rising. I haven't read Lightbringer. Wow. So Red Rising is just like the bottom of the barrel
Red
for
Rising
you.
is it's still good, but I would say it's definitely the weakest of what the series becomes. As of right now, Lightbringer is my favorite. I would say Lightbringer, then Dark Age, and Morning Star.
What's the
Wow.
general reception on BookTube? Would you say like most people are loving Lightbringer?
I have
Or
no idea.
oh yeah,
I have no idea. I'm more so seen it like on. I'm so behind on BookTube though. I've more so seen like my book talk mutuals talking about it. And I think the reception over there has been really good, but I admit I'm a little out of the loop with what BookTube.
Maybe you need to give it a chance. That trilogy, second trilogy.
I don't want to. Or Quartet. How many are there going to be?
It's going to be
One more.
There's one more coming, Red God, which is book 7.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that Sean's contribution when I mentioned, I was like, oh, there's Lightbringer. And he's like, I thought Brent Weeks finished that series. And I'm like, no, that's not that series. Because didn't you say, Sean, you're like, why did he name it the same thing? Or like you thought it got a reprint or something?
Yeah, I was like, huh?
To be fair, it's
Lightbringer.
actually quite impressive how much Sean retains of like all the books I'm always talking about to him. And it's impressive that he'll know like authors and stuff like that. But that one I was like, huh? I felt stupid for a second because it took me a moment to figure out I was like, what are you talking about? A lot of military and political conflicts.
Yeah.
It's like
Lightbringer is great. That's my favorite book so far, 2023.
I do like military and political. I think I would have enjoyed it so much more if it just been completely new characters and you just hadn't brought back anybody from the first trilogy. Because back to what Victoria said of like, I liked how Morning Star wrapped up. It's why Cinna Williams Chima's continuation after Seven Realms. I'm like, I don't want to read that
series.
I do like that quartet. And then Deshauna, she was like, well, something happens with a character from the original series. I'm like, I'm very picky about this kind of stuff. So just tell me. And if it really upsets me, then I won't read it. She told me, I'm like, I'm not reading that. I don't want to read that. Like, don't do that. Like, I understand that time has passed for them, but time hasn't passed for me. Okay. So I can't have that. I can't deal with that.
Now I'm curious how you're going to feel about Threads of Power because it is a continuation series.
That's
I
true.
know that's the thing is I usually don't like continuations, but so there is a reason why this one gets an exception. And it's because I saw, and Sean was with me actually. We saw V.E. Schwab. It was like right before she blew up. Ooh. She came to our local bookstore for like a little intimate book event. And it was for the third book in Shades of Magic. And she was talking about how she'd like always planned for there to be more books in the series. Okay. And then she talked about how she'd always planned on, because at the time Vicious was I think at the time Vicious was a standalone. She's like, I planned for this to be a trilogy. And I'm forgetting what the third one's supposed to be called. I think it was supposed to be like Vicious, Vengeful, and Villainous or something like that. So she planned for that one to have more. She talked about like the issues of publishing for her archive series and just all of the additional stories she'd wanted to write. So I've always expected there to be more. And then just, it seemed like she was sort of waiting until she could sort of thing. So that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
Because I think other continuations sometimes give the impression of like, well, I thought about writing this new project, but then it came to me like, but what if I just stayed in the same world?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but just leave that one alone for a bit.
Well, that's why I haven't read the continuation to
that?
Shatter Me.
Mm.
I just
Oh.
let it be because I read that like forever ago, and then it's like the continuation came out, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to like spoil my nostalgia.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that makes sense. And
Yeah.
then, Christy, you're probably right. It probably is Victorious. So Vicious, Vengeful, Victorious.
I still want that book though.
The
I'm
third book in
intrigued
this.
by the
And
new
yeah,
one
the
she's
villainous,
writing, too.
the villain series. That's my favorite. I love Vicious. That's
I
my
love
favorite
Vicious.
Schwab.
Yeah. I feel like now I need to continue with the second book though, because I read it so long ago now. I'm just like, oh, it stands on its own so well. I don't need to finish it. But now
It
I'm
does, but I loved the second book too. I might be the odd one out, but I really liked the second book.
Me too. Sean did too.
Because a lot of
did
people
too.
hate it, and I'm like, it was great. I still want
I know. I liked it a
more.
lot.
nice. Oh, that's
The
good.
themed video for the Shades read along that has something to do with B.E. Schwab is like popular authors and unpopular opinions. And I talk about how I think that video's not out for anybody that's watching this live, but I talk about in that how I'm like, I like Vengeful a lot. So
A lot.
I think, Sean, you also thought it was better than the first one, right?
I did.
Oh wow. Oh,
Not that I remember either one, but at the time,
you remember the vibes, Sean. That's all. That's what matters.
yeah.
Yeah.
People want to kill each other. That's the vibes.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Stabby vibes.
Should we start our second 25-minute sprint?
I'm going to head out and
You're
go
gonna
to
head out?
sleep.
Okay.
Good night.
Yes, it's late for you. Go to bed.
Yeah, right? You get up early.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Kristen.
Thank you.
Hi, Kristen.
Bye. Roger might return. He had to pick up Alex, so he may hop back on eventually. And then off to see if there's an update of when she can potentially hop on. But I think we're good to start our next 25 minutes. Okay, let me
I'm gonna
get
take
the...
5 minutes of that 25 to make coffee.
Okay.
Actually, that sounds like a good idea, Sean. I might go make some chai. I'll be right
There
back.
you go.
But I'm like, wait, what time is it where y'all are at?
It's 8:00 here.
Okay.
Oh, it's only 6.
6.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 9.
Oh, what are
Yeah,
you
no
drinking?
more coffee for you.
Coffee. Nice.
I don't sleep. Roger is correct, and the Jesse doesn't sleep, and it doesn't make me not sleep. I don't know.
Wow.
Caffeine doesn't affect me.
I'm with you. I'll make a cup of coffee at like midnight if I'm still awake. Like, oh, this is coffee.
Same.
Yeah.
I just like it. My husband can drink 1 cup of coffee like first thing in the morning and be just like buzzed all day. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. Right.
I drink so many of these a day. They don't have as much caffeine as coffee, but they have some, and I drink like minimum 3. More than that, though. Usually,
Right.
it's like 3 to 5 a day. So I'm just like, I need to be. When we go on a trip and it's somewhere more rural, like a state park or something. Oh my gosh, because state parks always have coffee, but they don't have like that. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just had such a headache.
Oh.
I'm just such a pansy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the screen ready to go again. If I can. Oh, there we go.
I will be right back. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Steph.
Hey, Steph.
Hi. How are
Yay,
you all?
made it.
I know I was like rushing home from work.
Oh no. A decent day of work, hopefully.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's work.
Yeah.
that's work.
How are y'all doing?
Good.
Good. It's a good night.
We've just been doing really quick little 25-minute sprints. So that was
Oh,
the second
fun.
one.
Are y'all
Roger. Oh, sorry. Roger was here at the beginning. He had to leave, but he said he might hop back in later. So,
Okay.
yeah. And then Kristen, it's late, so she had to go to bed. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. Which book are y'all on? If you're reading this book.
Still on book 1.
I realize this doesn't help anyone. This one, can't you tell? The first one.
Yeah.
Same with, as Tori.
It's good so far. This is my first time reading through it, and I'm
I
really enjoying it.
forgot about that.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it's good. So
That is
like
exciting.
I've gotten to I've officially met Lila. I've heard a lot about her, so I met her in the last sprint, and now I've officially gotten to White London, which has been fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. So I want to see what's going on here.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Yeah.
Right.
Steph, you said you just finished your reread, right?
No, I finished my reread of the first one. I haven't finished the whole series. I am like a quarter into the second one.
Okay.
And this, when I first read it, this was my favorite of the three because I love a tournament. So I'm excited to see how I end up liking this one upon reread because I actually liked the first one way more than I liked it my first time around.
That's how I'm feeling. I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's weird because I liked it the first time. I didn't dislike it, but I just really am liking it this time. I don't know if it's because the first time for some reason I thought it started slow, and maybe it's because just getting introduced to everything. But since I have a vague understanding already, it's like I can take it in better. I'm curious, Tori, because this is your first time. Do you feel like it starts slow, or do you feel like it's engaging immediately?
It is engaging. I'm finding though that because I use book darts when I read, so I'm like kind of tabbing things as I'm going. So I am finding that I'm going back and like rereading things that I've tabbed. Like, wait, what does this London do? Like, who is this character? Like, what's going on? So yeah, I've been going back and forth, just like flipping around. But it's engaging. But I think it's because I've just heard so much about the series, and I've heard about all these characters before. I don't know their relationships to each other, but I've like heard about Lila, and I've heard a little bit about Kel and the different Londons and stuff. So I'm excited about that. So it's been engaging for that reason.
I remember not loving Rye, or however other people want to say it, but like liking him.
I don't like him.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't dislike him by any means, but like he wasn't my favorite. And this time around, I'm like, dude, he's so whiny.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I like him though. This is sorry, like maybe like super mild spoilers, but when he punched Kel, I was like, oh, all right. He just punched him in the face. I was like, oh, let me tell
Okay.
Iconic.
When he's trying to do magic though, and he's like, I don't want to. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then so Sean, the character Kel, is trying to get this other character Rye to make something move using magic. And he like clearly just like bumps it, and he's like, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
He's like, I didn't do it. It was magic. And he's just such a goof and kind of whiny. Because he's like, let's go drinking. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my birthday celebration.
Yeah.
It's still entertaining though. He's whiny, but he's entertaining.
Yeah.
I feel like he gets better. I liked him more and more as the books went on.
Oh, that's good to know. I like him already, so I'm excited to see.
I loved him by like the end of the series, or the third book. I guess it's not the end of the series anymore. Absolutely loved him.
Oh, good.
I do think she's V.E. Schwab is very good at like putting little hints and mysteries along the way. The whole like this isn't a spoiler, this is like immediately just Kel, the whole like his name, the origin of his name, and like where did he come from and stuff like that. That little mystery. I'm like, dude, I like forgot that that's I don't know, it's just done very well.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things I forgot apparently that I'm like, oh wait.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the writing so far. And it's interesting because I don't know, I like V. Schwab. She's a really good storyteller, but my 2 experiences with her have been Vicious, which I read so long ago now at this point. And then more recently, I read Addie LaRue in 2020. And that's very like flowery, very prose and, you know, kind of like that. But just kind of getting back into her work where it's just like a good story and movement and action. It's good.
I think I didn't know, because you're right that she's pretty different. Like she always kind of has this sinister flair in her works. Gallant, I think, is just that pretty much. It's all vibes, but I think that Shades is a good mix of plot and characters. And I think a lot of authors, it's kind of one or the other. So it is fun to come back. Even her, in some of her works, it's one or the other. So it's fun to come to something that's, I think, a good mix of both. I read Thornhedge recently. It was like kind of weirdly sad, but cute at the same time. Let's see, Darker Shade 1 and 2. Yay!
Nice.
Hello. Threw in the towel at work, so I had 10 minutes to listen to my book and eat cake. What kind of cake? Rye is the Adolin of the series. JK.
No.
Why did you bring this up?
Why?
We
agree on that. I don't like him.
Christy, I wish there was a way that in the chat you could share that text exchange. You should send it to Jessie.
No.
She sent me this text exchange about Adolin where somebody was just like talking about how they can't stand him and they hate him. And it was really funny.
It's like one of us.
See, vanilla cake with vanilla and strawberry frosting. That sounds pretty good.
That sounds delicious.
Sean, that's like the first noise you've made post second
Cake.
Sprint. Sean, how was your reading this second sprint?
It's good. It's fine.
How was your coffee?
Coffee's great.
Steph,
Everything's good.
He had to take a couple minutes out of that last sprint to make some coffee. So.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have fallen asleep.
Do you want to share with her what you're reading?
I'm reading The Satanic Verses.
Oh, what's that about?
Oh, man.
Oh, you don't know?
Uh-uh.
I thought maybe because I thought
I'm reading it and I don't know. So, like, you know.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's very controversial, and I think a lot of places ban it.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm in California, we don't do a lot of as many book bannings as other places. Thankfully and not thankfully, it's a whole thing. If you don't, I'm a librarian. That's why she's saying that. So
I don't think this one's necessarily banned here, as far as I know. It's like banned in other countries, though.
Oh, okay.
For being blasphemous. But I guess vaguely there's a character who is turning into an angel and another one who's turning into a demon. But there's also just lots of other little short story type things that go along with it. So it's an odd book, but I like the writing. It's nice. Very good.
It sounds really cool.
It's pretty cool.
Blame Christy for bringing it up. I'm not going into it. I promise. Sean was saying earlier, though, that the book feels kind of magical realism and almost like folktale, right, Sean?
Yes. That's a
Just
good way
a
to
little
put
bit.
it. It's like things occur that, like, there's definite parts that I'm like, okay, that was a dream, but then dreams and reality are meshing. Like, I'm not even sure what is real anymore, but I don't think you're supposed to care. You just got to go with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of dreams, Sean, do you want to share what movie you watched recently?
Dreams?
Yeah, The Lighthouse.
Oh, The Lighthouse, yeah.
Oh.
That's a. I'm not sure it's happening in that either. A lot of
That's yeah.
yeah.
Has anyone seen The Lighthouse with it's
I
Robert
haven't watched
Pattinson?
it all. I haven't watched it, but I keep saying I'm going to.
You should.
And then I'm like, I don't know if I'm smart enough to watch it or it's just
Same.
I keep looking at it and then I'll like start it and I'm like, I don't know.
So I finished it and I thought that was a really good movie that I'll never probably understand. So, you know, if you're comfortable with that, it's fine.
I mean, I
Yeah,
bring
and he
dumb
looked
girl
up-
energy.
It what?
I said I bring dumb girl energy to everything, so like I won't understand it.
I didn't watch it with him. He watched it in like the mornings a little bit before work, right? Over the course
Yeah.
of a few days. And yeah.
Robert Pattinson killed it. Great performance.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. This is all coming together.
I mean, it's Willem Dafoe, so like
He killed it
hard
too.
for me to say no.
Have any of you ever watched the video of Robert Pattinson going to get a hot dog or something or trying to find food in New York? Yeah, okay.
No.
I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. It's so weird. And didn't he make the video himself and like narrate
I
it
think
and
that's
everything?
correct. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
He's a big weirdo goofball in like a really fun way.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know this because he started out with like, he was Edward in Twilight and then he's Batman. So he's like real serious in that and so moody in that version of Batman. But yeah, he seemed like a total goober in real life. It's funny.
When he used to do the interviews for Twilight, like he would just constantly be making jokes.
Yes.
And people didn't know if he was like seriously roasting it or if he was just having fun.
Yes, I remember that.
I remember that too. That was a big thing. People were like, no one hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson.
Right?
So true.
I remember him talking about how in an interview leading up to Batman or maybe right after it was released or something, he was talking about how is it Zoe Kravitz?
Yes.
I get the daughter and the mom mixed up. Zoe Kravitz, how she was like watching all these like cat videos to prep for the role or whatever for Catwoman, and he was like, maybe I should watch like bat videos to prepare. And then he watched a video of like a bat attacking something like a chicken or something, and he says the bat just went like straight for the anus or something. And that was his preparation.
I mean,
It's really funny. I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel or something. So
okay.
I'm just giving people like Robert Pattinson homework. Like go watch
Go watch
him be a
this.
goof. It is very entertaining. It's very fun. Should we get ready for our third and I'm gonna say maybe final sprint since it's will be around 2 hours by the end of it. Does that sound good? Yeah. Okay. And Steph, sorry that you'll only be able to be here for one, but I'm glad you were able to make it.
I know. I'm glad too.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. I'm getting this back up. I like how it says add to stage when I go to put this back up.
And to whoever said that Mother was fantastic.
Oh, I never saw that.
Is that the Jennifer Lawrence?
Yes.
I need to go back to that.
It's
I
so
couldn't. I
weird.
was like halfway through, and I was like, "This is a little too weird."
So weird. I like weird.
Oh, if you like weird, you should definitely watch The Lighthouse.
I like an Aronofsky
It's a
film.
movie where I'm like, I don't know who I should recommend this to, but if you like that sort of stuff, 100% watch it.
Looked up after watching the movie, like what do other people get from this? And the takeaway is basically like nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows what that movie's about. I'm not even sure if the director knows what that movie's about. He's just
yes, definitely watch the hot dog video. I think it's a hot dog that he's looking for in New York. He's looking for food in New York City. It's a very short video and it's very weird and he's interesting. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get this sprint started. Our final 25-minute sprint. So here we go.
This is getting good.
Without, spoilers, where did you leave off?
So I have now officially met Athos and Astrid, and both are a hot mess. Let's just say that.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that was quite the introduction to White London and to both of them. But,
Jesse, how's your reading?
I'm almost at the end,
oh, good.
Fun.
so I can't really say where I'm at without spoiling. But I
Right.
just, like I said, I had forgotten so much that had happened.
It's like reading it again for the first time, except for being acclimated to it
Right.
simultaneously.
That was weird.
Sarah, I'm glad the hot dog video changed your life.
I need to go look this up now too.
I know, right?
Yeah. You can let me know in our little shades chat.
Yeah.
If you do watch it. Well, Steph, were you about to say something?
Oh, yeah, that's how I felt when I was reading the first one. I was like, it's so much easier for me to get into it because the world, like, I understood it, but I understood it even better the second time around. Like, there were things that I totally didn't catch on to when I was first reading the series. And now reading it the second time, I was like, wow, I like this so much more, that I have like a better grasp. But I also like forgot so much of it that it felt like I had never read it before. So I don't
Yeah.
because the last book is the only one that I remember like pretty detailed things about, but we'll see if I'm fooling myself.
If that's
yeah.
if that's actually true.
Yeah.
That's you described. I know it probably feels like what you said didn't make sense, but that's exactly
Yeah.
how it feels for me right now rereading it. So Wes, the plan is that over on my Patreon we'll have the live show discussion for the trilogy on the 15th, but then that video, if you aren't on Patreon or anything like that, for anybody that's not, it'll go up on my channel after. It's just for people that want to join the chat or just watch the video live, but it will go up on my channel after, and I'll have to double check the date, but my plan is for that to go up on probably a Sunday, and I think it's like the Sunday before Threads of Power comes out, something like that, so that way people have a recap. And then we'll probably do a few more sprints. Those aren't settled just yet as far as the dates and times, but they will be across our various channels. I think we'll have one more. I'm thinking, we haven't solidified this, but I'll probably do one more here on Worldhoppers, and maybe that one can be a Threads themed one, not necessarily just Shades, since at that point we'll have all finished the trilogy. And then we'll do the Threads one probably not too long after it comes out, because I think we'll all be pretty eager to be reading it around when it comes out, but we also want to give people time to pick it up before we do our chat. So the sprint, I just listened to audiobook. Oh, nice.
Nice.
I love audiobooks. I'm a little sad though that to find out that Michael Kramer, not that I dislike Michael Kramer, but I'm getting kind of used to this narrator for this one.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I'm
I have to go on
gonna
a
be sad when
hunt for
it
the
switches.
second book on audio.
Do you have Hoopla?
So apparently my library doesn't work on Hoopla.
Oh,
I
do they
tried.
not subscribe to the
Yeah.
audio? Yeah, you
was
get the
like-
libraries get packages, so some of them just will go for like music and movies.
Yeah, I couldn't even find my library like listed anywhere on Hoopla.
Okay.
I was like, that's lame.
Sean has noticed that doesn't our Hoopla have a lot of comics on it?
Mhm.
Hoopla, I think in general, just has a lot of comics on it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yeah, that's like the place I go.
We have, yeah, Steph, we have the audiobooks for the first and the third for
Mhm.
our library, but not the second. Does anybody know if the third one is still Michael Kramer, or does it go back?
It is.
And
it is,
Kate
okay.
Reed, is it his wife?
I'm pretty
Kate
sure it
Reed?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna do like the Audible free trial. That way I can just
I don't know if they're still doing it, but they did have like a deal with Audible where for 3 months you can get it for 90 cents.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that they had like free trial, and like if you're already a Prime member, you can get like free, like 2 free books. I'm like,
Oh, cool.
perfect.
Cool.
That's all I need to do.
To answer, our library does have different things on Hoopla versus Libby.
Yeah.
Because I find tons of stuff on Libby that's not on Hoopla, but the downside is that Libby treats it like a regular book, even though it's a digital file. So, like, I was like, well, maybe I can get the second one on Libby, but I think since the the fourth book technically, I guess, is coming out soon, a bunch of people I think are rereading it. So it's like it's a weeks and weeks long wait. So I'm like, I might have to use a credit through a different one. But if you do find, Jesse, that you're liking audiobooks, I'm sure you've heard of it, but just in case, do you know about oh my gosh, I gotta double check the name. Libro FM?
Yes, I was looking at them too.
Yeah, I mean they're like it was
like
a nicer cause.
Right.
So
exactly. I was like, if I can do
what's-
just a free trial of Audible and get them for free, and then
right. What's really great about Libby too is you can get influencer books that don't require any credits, and they just have like tons every month. I think you can use 10. You can get 10 free audiobooks. They have like a selection. You can't just like pick anything,
right?
But it's new books, which is pretty cool.
They have a lot of like pretty big titles on there a lot of the time.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of audiobooks for my daughter, but obviously those are like younger, and like I've just been using like our library app because they have most of what like she reads in school. So she actually does the immersion reading because it works really well with her dyslexia.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
How old is she?
10.
Okay, I was gonna say because I do youth services. There's a thing called Tumble Books, but that's mainly for younger, like beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, for a while you did anyway, multiple libraries, right?
When I had Gilbert, Scottsdale, and Phoenix.
I need to renew.
That was, I think, because I wanted Hoopla, but at that time, I think Scottsdale was the only one that we could find, maybe something like that. But now I think it's a lot of places.
Yeah, I was looking, and I think the closest one to me that did it was like Orlando. I'm like, I'm not driving 2 hours to Orlando.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, the digital. I just saw the comment about digital cards. I have a digital card for Chicago Public Library.
Yeah, you can get a lot of digital cards. So like LA County, the LA County Public Libraries, which is different from LA Public Library, they have a digital card that's like a full access digital card. And actually, Jesse, I think they have Hoopla. So if you get their digital card, you can use their Hoopla as well. But yeah, I mean, in the United States, you can literally get a library card anywhere. It doesn't matter what state you live in.
That's really cool.
Yeah. My sister-in-law lives there. I'll just have her get one for me and be like, hey.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Right?
I'm like I remember the first time I read this, or the first like 100 pages. I feel like it's Tory right around where you are. Like once White London gets introduced and the siblings and stuff, I was like, okay. But then everything before that, you're getting accustomed to this world and the magic and things like that. And then after that, it just takes off. And I'm experiencing that again. Like during these sprints, I'm like, gosh darn it, I don't want to stop. So excited to keep reading.
Yeah, it's engaging. And I don't mind all the setup in the beginning. Like I said, I'm finding myself kind of flipping back and rereading some paragraphs, but I'm like, no, let me just keep pushing ahead and it'll all make sense. So
it just feels extremely, I don't know if it's because it's a reread or what, it just feels like so perfectly paced because you get just the right amount of introduction and then it takes off.
Yeah.
So you feel like your feet are on the ground before you're swept off your feet, which is a fun feeling, I think. But anyway, this was a lot of fun.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
As Threads of Power, this is years after the trilogy, right? Or is that a spoiler you don't have to mention? If there's like a major time.
I think people from the original trilogy will be in that. Oh, okay. So I think that kind of, but I don't want to say too much because, I feel like even talking about not continuations, but just within a series, I always feel like nervous to say character names because like
Yeah.
it reveals who does and doesn't die or like things like that. So I just don't want to say anything for anybody that this is their also like you their first read through. But I'm still annoyed that the covers don't match for the new ones, but it's fine. I saw Steph, you held it up. I like refuse on principle because I'm like, maybe if it had been a hardback, but the fact that they're paperbacks, I'm like, come on.
I don't have
That's
any of the
foolishness.
hardcover ones, so I was like, whatever, I'll just get these new ones.
Yeah.
Use. But if I had hardcover ones, yeah, I probably wouldn't.
Not that I need it to be hardcover. It's just it won't match because I'm assuming Threads of Power will come out in hardback. Sean's laughing at me because he knows I'm a little obsessed with things matching. I have done a video going through a bunch of the different editions. So I have probably more editions of Shades than most other series. So I have pretty much all of them. And they're all really cool. Like when I did the Red Rising editions video, I'm like, a lot of these look kind of the same. But Shades, there's a good variety in there, I think, and they're all pretty cool. And then the new ones, I'm like, they're my least favorites. They had all these amazing editions, and then you came out with these weird, like, moody, posed. I don't know. There's the other ones were like artistic and cool.
I had the first two in the U.S. hardcovers, but when I found out that they were going to change the U.S. covers to the new ones that look all moody and colorful, I was like, oh no. So I tried to find the third hardcover for the US before they all like got off the shelves.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I will say, I know we talked about this before, at least the new Threads of Power cover in the UK will look like the UK cover. So there's that at least.
Right.
So, that's true. Because the colors make sense with the Londons, and then they're like, "What if we did, like green and purple?"
Right?
Is there no thought? Who made this decision?
That is funny though when I think about it. Pretty much all of her books are in that red, white, and black.
I don't know if she gets I know Juniper Books. She was one of at least the first author. I don't know if they've done this since, but she actually got to have a say in the Juniper Books sleeves. Which is pretty cool. But she's also, I think, had a say in the design of the original Shades covers. Because if you go online, you can find a list of like covers that could have been and what she thought didn't or did work about them. And sorry, Luna's in here now. So Sean just let her in because earlier she wanted to go see Sean. Anyway, so I wonder if she has a say in the other ones and if she's wanted consistency across or something, because I think she used to work in cover design or something like that.
I think so.
So that would be I feel like authors should have more of a say. I get that some of them are like, I don't want to think about it, that's not my thing, so whatever you guys, I trust the artists. But I do feel like it'd be nice if authors were consulted a little more on their own covers.
Yeah.
There's the occasional one where you're like, dude, who cares? That cover artist is so like the I think on Instagram their username is my name is Tran, who did the new Yumi and the Nightmare Painter and the Art of Prophecy. I mean, everything they do is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the person, but the Gideon the Ninth and Bonesmith, those books, that cover artist I think is awesome. Their art's really cool. The artist who's done the oh my gosh, I'm spacing on the name. The Celestial Kingdom duology. The artist is great. So some of them I'm like, it doesn't have to be related to the book at all, and it doesn't matter because it's like a masterpiece work of art. But preferably, I think authors should get more of a say. Anyway, Sean and I have to take Luna Bear out, so we'll go ahead and wrap up the sprint. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we at least got to all hop in at some point. And for everybody that joined the sprint, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. And we'll let you know when we have our next sprint. And I'll keep you all posted on the specifics as we get closer to the chat and as we get closer to threads coming out. And then we will have our own all individual videos. And there will be a playlist if you want more shade along content. So Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to the co-host and for Sean joining us. We'll see you all later. Bye.
Thanks,